Great, thank you very much, Susan. So I thought I would start with just sharing some of the areas that we'll cover today. And I kind of went broad with this topic, but also going deep in a few areas as well. So you'll see as I go through the presentation, I do call out a few areas that I plan to give a little bit further details to, but it's really a kind of a broad overview to give everyone a taste for some of the performance and productivity improvements that you can see with the theory of constraints. So we'll start with an overview of the theory of constraints, and then also I'll share some key principles that can boost productivity and results within your organizations, and then also share ways that you can access this valuable knowledge. Over the years, sometimes theory of constraints knowledge has been difficult to access, but over time it's become easier and easier to find references and areas where you can access additional information. So I'll share some of that with you as well. So starting with an overview of the theory of constraints. Theory of constraints was first introduced in the book The Goal by Dr. Ellie Goldratt and Jeff Cox in 1984. And the methods described in that book are still as relevant today as they were back in 1984, which is rather amazing. The subtitle of the book is A Process of Ongoing Improvement, and you'll hear that referred to oftentimes as POOGI. So if you ever hear the term POOGI, that really is describing the process of ongoing improvement. The book The Goal and the Theory of Constraints really describes scientific methods to achieve more of your goal. And one of the first steps in improving within an organization is to really understand what is the goal of that organization. For most for-profit organizations, the goal is probably something financial. But certainly not-for-profits and other organizations can have goals that are not financially related. And these scientific methods help to achieve more of your goal by increasing throughput primarily. So if you think of throughput as flow, increasing throughput is the primary focus within the theory of constraints, but also decreasing inventory and also decreasing operating expenses. The Goal had over 6 million copies sold, and it revolutionized the manufacturing industry. Within the 30th anniversary edition, which I have visualized here, there's also a white paper included that Dr. Ellie Goldratt published, which you can search for it. It's called Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. Just search for that, probably put in a PDF, and you'll find a copy of that. It's a very informative white paper, and I do recommend folks take a look at that. What Dr. Goldratt describes in this white paper called Standing on the Shoulders of Giants, he begins by describing how Henry Ford really revolutionized the manufacturing processes back in his time. And then later, Taiichi Ohno with Toyota, really the developer of the Toyota production system, stood on the shoulders of Henry Ford. He really studied and learned what did Ford do to have such great success. And as he understood that, he was able to stand on the shoulders of Henry Ford, so to speak, and take a major leap forward in the way that he improved manufacturing and production in his time at Toyota. Dr. Goldratt really studied Henry Ford and Taiichi Ohno as well, and many believe that he stood on the shoulders of these giants and took major leaps forward as well with the theory of constraints. In this white paper, Dr. Goldratt also references Deming as someone who really helped him to understand systems thinking, and so you can consider Deming also one of the giants that Dr. Ellie Goldratt stood on the shoulders of. The solution within the goal is referred to as drum buffer rope. And I'll probably touch on that a little bit as we go through the presentation, but I won't be doing a deep dive into the drum buffer rope solution of manufacturing and production. but I'll share a little bit as we continue. One of the things that's interesting to note is that Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, he brought his executive leadership team together for an all-day book club, and they focused on the goal. This was back in 2013. And now if I just go back one slide, I can kind of point out something on the book, The Goal, and you might not be able to see it, but down here in the corner it indicates required reading for Amazon's management. And so it's really become a way for the Amazon leadership to think differently about productivity and performance within the organization. And of course, we all know that Amazon has had tremendous success over the years. Jim Whitehurst, also the CEO of Red Hat, he's indicated The Goal is his favorite business book of all time. That was a quote from a 2015 interview. So you've got these top leaders of organizations, and certainly there are many more, but I just call out these two in particular, who really see the methods, the concepts, the different ways of thinking about systems within the theory of constraints as tremendously valuable mechanisms to help improve the productivity and performance and the results within their organizations. Here are a list of some of the organizations that I personally see on a regular basis as I travel the world and attend conferences, and I see companies presenting their results and the performance improvements that they've had by applying the TOC methods. One of the organizations here that's worth calling out, well, they're all probably worth calling out, but one that I will call out is the state of Utah. This is the state government of Utah, and they have been for the past few years heavily focused on using theory of constraints methods to help improve the way state government operates, the results that they can achieve for their taxpayers. What they're really interested in doing is using the taxpayer dollars for as much benefit as they can possibly produce. So they're looking to uncover extra capacity within the government. They're looking to improve the throughput, the speed of flow within different departments. If you think about perhaps child protective services, I listened to a presentation given by some of the leadership in the state of Utah Child Protection Services Group, and what they're really interested in doing is improving the speed that they can address those cases, because if they address those cases slowly, they've got a child that could be in danger. But if they can address those cases quickly and get the problem resolved, they can do a lot of good for the society. Really at the foundation of the theory of constraints and introduced in the book, The Goal, were the 5 focusing steps. And I'll take you through the 5 focusing steps and try to elaborate a little bit just to help you better understand how these 5 focusing steps can be very beneficial in helping to make improvements within systems. It's really about, again, thinking about the system as a whole. If you think about a chain, and you're looking to identify the weakest link in that chain, spending a lot of time, effort, and money to improve the strength of the links in the chain that aren't the weakest is not going to have any benefit to the entire strength of the chain. It's only when you can identify that weakest link and focus all of the efforts on improving the strength that you really have a significant impact on the bottom line of the organization or on the performance of the organization as a whole. So the first step in the 5 focusing steps is to identify the system's constraint. You're looking for the place that has the least capacity and the most work to do, the place that really can't keep up with the demand that's placed on it. After you've identified the system constraint, you need to decide how to exploit the constraint. And this is really a tremendously valuable step within theory of constraints thinking.